know when I go into a room and one person knows who I am. So it's worked out quite nicely. So I've been looking forward to doing this one all day. So you guys are going to meet James Mcavoy, and literally in the last 30 seconds, one of the nicest people. You guys, it's going to be awesome. So if you do have questions, go to the. This is very much your afternoon. So I'm going to cut out to the questions straight away. So there's podium 1, 2, there's 3 and 4 up at the top as well. So if you've got questions, go to the queue and I'll try and get through as many of these as we can. Are you guys ready for a good afternoon? Are you ready for a good afternoon? Can we just get it going? Yeah, I'm not going to walk back out, I'm going to stay right here. And please welcome to the stage, James Mcavoy!
Hey guys, thanks very much. Jeez, this is a big room. You sound really nice to hear.
We sit far away. We have to stay apart because we just became best friends. And
It was electric.
it really was. This is so I've got I have other questions planned for other people. I've got nowhere to start because you've done so many cool things, so many cool bodies of work.
I've also done some shit things, but
Should we start there? Have you got ones that you thought, yeah, that was shit?
yes. I won't name them and shame them. You know what they are. Because I don't like talking down about things. Because maybe there was people in those movies that thought it was great or it was the pinnacle of their career, and I don't want to be sitting there going like, that thing was shit. Also, I don't want to speak badly about the directors or whatever, so it's hard to talk about them. But yeah, I've been in stuff where I'm like, oh my god.
So what the question is, have you ever done stuff where you thought you were shit? As a performer, there's times you'll go out on stage, you go out on stage and you go, I could have done better, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm always good. Have I ever thought I was totally shit? I think I'm always trying.
Yeah.
I don't always succeed. And if I'm watching a performer and I think they're trying, and I think they're trying to tell a story, then I respond to that. And hopefully, even in the ones that I've done that are rubbish,
I think you're going to be your own worst critic because I cannot think of a role where
and that atonement still sticks with me, and it's a character and a relationship with what's his, see, it means that much to me, I can't remember the person that Keira Knightley played, Cecilia, and I mean the X-Men movies was like an experience. It was friendships created over the course of like 10 years. It was visiting, like we made the first one in London, but it was also visiting Montreal for 3 whole summers. Every time we made a movie and a whole experience, that was beautiful. I loved that time, and I loved those people. I was meant to be here with Nick Holt, but he's not here, unfortunately. That's one of the, he's here. He's with us. Shall I have him on the sofa?
Yeah, I have to get
Come
him
on.
on the sofa. That is.
It might get.
Just so you know, this is life size. I'm just massive.
Yeah, everybody thinks Nick is 6'3", but actually it's just forced perspective. And this guy, what a guy. Really glad I met the fella. So yeah, different movies at different times.
Oh, I'm gonna go because I know people are so excited. We're gonna go number 2. What's your name?
I'm Roxy.
Hey Roxy, how you doing?
Hi. How hard was it preparing for Split with like the multiple personality changes?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? It was a really well written script, and that makes it easier for me. My job is, like, the story's being told really clearly. I don't need to sit there and figure out how to tell this story. I've just got to execute what is already clearly really good. Now, yeah, it was a lot of characters, but in a way, the hardest thing to do is work on a script that's rubbish. So it's easier. There's a lot of work to do, there's a lot to get through, a lot of creation to get through, but the blueprint was all there because Knight wrote a really good thing. I mean, it was one of those things where you go like, this could go down really badly, or it could go down really well. It would never be in the middle. And I thought, you know, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do, the being on the precipice of failure or success. So it was hard work, but good work, not frustrating work. The only character I had a little bit of trouble finding was Hedwig, and at the table read or the read through, Knight came in with a note that sort of transformed that part for me, and we found it in that kind of high pressure moment. I don't know if you know what table reads are, but it's a bunch of actors all sitting around, and the producers listen to it, and it's 9 times out of 10 crap, because a lot of the time in movie actors as well, nobody's speaking loudly enough to be heard. And you're kind of going, God, this really doesn't flow. Someone's reading the stage directions and usually reading them, fairly badly. And you're like, oh God, this is crap. And then he comes in with a note, a big swinging note. And I shat my pants really, but you do what you do as an actor, and you just put yourself in a scary position and do it anyway. And it kind of works. So that was the only one that we had a little bit of trouble with.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roxy.
And I think it's number 1.
Hi, James. Hi, Pierre.
Hey.
Hi. Nice to meet you. First of all, I want to say I've been a fan for almost 10 years. And my question is, if you're gonna choose an animal to represent your character in X-Men, what animal would you like to choose?
For my version of Charles?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And for like other main characters like Magneto, what would you like to choose?
Well, if it was me in real life, I'd choose a sea otter. But if it was Charles, what would Charles's animal be? I never do animal stuff. Some actors do animal work. What would he be? What would he be? He'd maybe be a thing. He'd be an animal. He'd be, I don't know, I really don't know. Maybe a raven.
But we got kept called Raven.
A raven, yeah.
Okay. Well, like,
So, come back. Yeah, come back next year. I'll give you a better answer.
We got at number 4.
Oh, sorry. My name's Liam, and what is the most challenging role you've ever done in your career?
Well, again, as I was saying to Roxy earlier, it's the most challenging thing that I ever have to do as an actor is work on a script that isn't very good, or a story that isn't fully conceived, and that's really, really difficult. But in terms of stuff that I'm willing to talk about, therefore the good ones, the most difficult one that was good, maybe Last King of Scotland actually. I was really young, I think I was 23 at the time. Last King of Scotland, I don't know if you haven't seen it, I play a young Scottish doctor who goes to Africa and becomes like the personal physician of a real life dictator called Idi Amin in the 70s, and it's based on a lot of true stuff. Anyway, it was a crazy experience, and guy playing Idi Amin, he won an Oscar and he was amazing in it, but I kind of had to carry the narrative as the sort of David Copperfield kind of lead against him doing like an Oscar-winning performance, and I definitely felt the anxiety of that at times. And so that was maybe the toughest task, because that was me stepping up to play a lead character for the first time in what felt like could be quite an important movie for me. Certainly when I saw his performance, I was like, he's getting an Oscar. So yeah, I felt the pressure. That was probably in terms of stress and effort, I'd say Last King of Scotland. But then after that, everything was easy. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, mate. I don't do Keith Lemon anymore, I just do me, but I've been told that you're interviewing me about Keith Lemon, the film, I don't really want to talk about because it was rubbish apparently. yeah. How's it going? Been in a good Comic Con?
No bad, I sent a lot of pictures.
How are you feeling about the Scouse accent? I've been learning some Scouse accent, some words.
Go on, do it.
Hey, check out the traps on that! Hello, that Jesse!
What's Brookside?
Oh, Brookside is my favourite one. It was. Go on, just keep going. Just wait till you've got a question for me and I'll answer it.
Which one was that? Number 4. Let's go. Is that number 3?
Hello, James, looking lovely. My name's Bella. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, pal.
I wanted to ask you, what was your favourite thing about the filming of the X-Men process? Because I mean, it must have been fun with all the fun cast that you had on there.
That's what I wanted to ask. What was your favourite process? X-Men films.
What was the process? The first one was mayhem, but really good. Matthew Vaughn put together something really different. And
I know Matthew.
You know Matthew Vaughn?
Yeah, I'll let you into a little secret. This isn't a joke, but he asked me to write Flash Gordon.
What?
He said, would you like to write Flash Gordon? The least that'll happen is you'll do one draft of a script and get paid well. Oh, and I did.
Did you do it?
I did, yeah. He says, write the Flash Gordon you want to see. So I said, I just want to see the 80s one, just update it a little bit. So I watched each scene and just rewrote it. And Flash Gordon had his own fragrance. For men it was called Splash Gordon, and for women it was called Gash Gordon. And he flew up to Mongo in an egg that used to belong to Mark from Mark and Mindy. And it disposed a frying pan, and then all the fuel came out of it, and then it just plopped into it, and that's how they climbed out. Go on.
So it was a bit like that. It was, the first one was mayhem, but really, really good. The thing I enjoyed about playing him was that I got to make him a bit selfish and egotistical and unwise, whereas Patrick was doing the opposite of that, so that I had to go towards it, you know, in an egg.
Mistakes and yeah.
You what, pal?
He said he was learning his mistakes and all that.
He had to make mistakes. It almost felt like the Patrick version of it never got to make mistakes, so it felt incumbent upon me to make tons.
James, you know your action figure.
There's many. Go on.
Do you like it?
I don't think I've seen them. I've seen the Funko ones, but I don't think I've seen them.
I mean, even a Funko looks like you, doesn't it? You know.
You try to say I've got a big white face?
You've got a big square head and black eyes. But I think that's the cleverness of Funkos. They always look like them. So
In the movie Start of Pretend, did you like how the story played out, and what do you think of the character you played?
Brian Jackson. I can't even remember the names of half my characters. Yeah, I loved that story. It was beautiful. I mean, I was young myself. I still felt like I was just that wee boy. And coming from a working class council estate and all that rubbish, not all that rubbish, but I always feel like sometimes it sounds a bit like you're kind of going like, oh, I grew up in a box and
I came from that rubbish.
We just ate leaves every day. I'm not trying to say that, but it was. I kind of felt a lot like that wee guy, and getting to be in what felt like an age. Who's next?
We're going to go number 2.
Hiya, I'm Amy. My question is, if you could play any other character in X-Men or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which would it be?
Oh man,
Spider-Man. The clue when you said man.
Gambit was the one that I always loved.
Yeah.
Not trying to talk my way into that, by the way. Channing Tatum's got it tied up and he's doing a good job. I just always loved these mental accents. Growing up, you know, like you've got a fucking mental accent.
Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Can you do an impression of Gambit?
Not unless you can pay my fee of £2.50 an hour.
I'm about to make a name for myself. Ooh.
That was Mr. T.
I'm about to make a name for myself. Ooh. That's what he says.
Oh, now I want to see Mr. T as Gambit.
Wolverine and Deadpool, that's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what he's in here. That's Gambit. You not seen it?
No, not yet.
Oh, shame.
One day.
Have you not seen Deadpool Wolverine?
No, not yet.
Get out.
Watch it.
Do you watch yourself?
What, in a film? Yeah, I do.
How does he feel?
If it's good, I feel good. If it's shit, I feel shit.
You know, in class and split and stuff where you're like mad angry, did you get a headache afterwards?
Watching it or?
No, whilst you're doing it, because like, you look like so angry you're going to lay an egg.
Yeah. Did you fly up to the moon?
It's tiring, that role.
Yeah, kinda. Weirdly, not as tiring as standing doing pictures with 500 people a day. That's not like complaining. It's lovely, but it's actually that's probably the most tiring work I do. I don't know. I get a buzz out of doing all that stuff. Climbing up walls, standing there looking like a badass, all that stuff.
How do you decompress from that? Like, because he was an angry person, wasn't he?
The minute they say cut, I'm done. It's like
Oh, really?
I don't take it home at all. No.
That's very cool. I would definitely take it home. I wouldn't be good at that.
You know when you do crying in films, where's your place? All the 3 films I've done, in one of them I cried, and I've never done it before, and I asked another actor what they do, and they thought of sad things, but I thought of happy things.
Happy things made you cry?
Yeah.
Well, they can do, can't they?
Yeah. You do?
I cry quite a lot in my life, and I cry a lot at happy things in my life. I find it quite easy just to cry as the character. I don't become the character, of course I don't. But if I find the story is sad enough that it's affecting that character that way, if I've disbelieved my suspenders long enough and well enough, then it just hits me like it hits the character. And if I can't cry, then it's because I shouldn't cry.
Because I think, like, as a viewer also, I know I do a little bit of things.
You do.
Done some things. But you do go, how are they doing that? How are they doing that? You know Patsy Kensit?
Aye.
I did a scene with Patsy Kensit once. I don't know how many times we did it, but she cried all day. I said, but you're knackered, aren't you? And she was just totally jiggered.
She cried all day in the scene.
I mean, Patsy cries a lot in real life as well, but that's just because she can't get her shoes on. Or someone hasn't booked her for something. But I book her for everything. I love her. Lovely lady. Anyway.
I'm going to go number 2. What is your question?
Hello. My question is about Speak No Evil. And I was wondering, because you play the character so perfectly, like so intimidating and scary and everything.
You look like you're still scared now.
5'7", you don't need to be worried.
And I was just wondering whether you like listen to certain music or anything to get into character.
That's a good question. No is the answer. No, I know. I've just made a film as a director about 2 musicians. I'm surprisingly non-musical. I don't really listen to music. Isn't that weird? I say that to
Like Girls Aloud.
I do like Girls Aloud. You caught me out there. But I don't really, it's not really a massive part of my life, so it doesn't come into my characterizations too much, I'm sorry to say. There was a few characters that I've listened to one song by Deacon Blue for when I was younger. I used to listen to, what's the name of the song? Born on a Storm, that's the only excuse you could give. That one by Deacon Blue. And that's it for music.
How do you get into character for something like that?
I don't know, man. You just read and you read the story, and then you let it come out. You pinpoint things that you want to do to the audience technically, when you want to do them, when you want to make them laugh, when you want to make them hurt, when you want to make them feel ashamed for enjoying your performance, even though you're playing such a toxically masculine arsehole. You try and pinpoint all those things, and then when you know the story you want to tell, and you know the things you want to do to the audience, you can then start to target how to do that through the story. But so it's basically working it back from the end goal. What do you want the audience to experience? What do you want them to feel? And they will not always feel that. Like 90% if you want, you'll feel something else. But attack it the way that you intend it to be told. Because that is the thing, you're storytelling. You're not just story truthing or story honesting or story film acting. Do you know what I mean? It's like, tell the story. And if you know the story, you know how to tell it.
Right.
Macbeth, years ago. Do you have any plans to do any more theatre work or West End or anything like that?
I've got no plans at the moment, unfortunately, but I've worked pretty much exclusively with one theatre director over the last 15 years, and he's already massively successful, but he's now sort of blowing up Broadway as well. So I need to wait until he's free, Jamie Lloyd. But no plans for the stage right now. Jamie Lloyd! How many people went, woo, they don't know who he is. But yeah, so no plans at the moment, mate.
Alright, well thank you.
Right.
I have got plans for stage. Well, last year I did Back to the Future the musical.
You never did?
I did.
Who did you play?
Strickland. And yeah, so I was the oldest person in the cast as well. And I was, you also think you're young, don't you? Really go, oh, I'm not young, because my beard is tiny, it's got white bits in it. And but I was Strickland, but it's terribly nerve-wracking because you can't go wrong, and I'm always relaxed because I don't care if I go wrong.
Did you love it though?
I got a bit excited, yeah. But I would do it again. That was about me anyway, sorry. If you tell me to walk on here, I went, what for? If you want me to go, I'll go, but I'll just...
No, you stay here.
I'll just stay then.
Oh, yeah.
Well...
stay or go?
Stay!
I'm not stay, that one more stay. I'll stay. I've been good. I've not been too interesting.
Gorgeous.
Go on, next question.
I'll go up at number 3.
Hi, James. So I love you from X-Men, but the film from my childhood that you're a part of that I absolutely love is The Chronicles of Narnia, where you played Mr. Tumnus. Just wondering what it was like to be a part of that.
I was 23, hadn't done a hell of a lot, and it was a $250 million movie, and it was in the other side of the world, and it was amazing. It was.
When did they film it?
Where?
Yeah.
New Zealand. And it was honestly, it was the first book I'd ever read on my own growing up, and I loved it. So getting to do that was incredible. But just do something on that scale, and also on that scale, but they took it so seriously because they were dealing with a lot of young kids who hadn't done much acting before. They filmed it in sequence to try and make it a bit more actor friendly for them, because usually you film out of sequence. And I had a good relationship with the wee lassie that was playing Lucy. But they kept me away from her as the character, so that the first time she saw the character was on camera, and just that's like Ken Loach stuff. Do you know what I mean? But on that level of budget as well. Andrew Adamson, the director, did a great job, and he really handled the cast just incredibly. So it was amazing. It was. I mean, if you had told me a few years earlier, when I was working in a bakery in Drumchapel, that I'd be doing that in a few years, I'd never have believed you.
Thank you.
Woo!
I auditioned to be in it.
Play who?
A talking mouse, and Eddie Izzard got the part and not me. And I went in and put a pair of teeth in that I thought would be, these are mice teeth. And did it, and I went, no, can you just do it in your normal voice? I went, no, because this is how I should speak. And they went, no, bye. And that was the end. But I watched it though.
Number 1.
Hi, this is my friend Rachel from Northern Ireland who couldn't attend today. Her question is, when you shot the scenes of older Charles and meeting younger Charles in Days of Future Past, were you anxious to film with Patrick because of how different you play Charles?
Do you know what? I was a bit nervous. I think I was the only cast member that got to cross over, other than Hugh Jackman. And they'd all been, the previous cast had all been filming for like a month, and I showed up, and like within a day and a half, I think my hair was about that long, and I did an 18-hour session to put in like hair extensions, and I was nervous, but during this 18-hour session of hair extensions, Sir Ian, Sir Patrick and all that are in there filming, and I'm seeing them coming and going from the trailers. And so I'm walking past the trailer and I've got hair down to my arse because they haven't cut it yet. And I'm taking a break in this 18-hour hair extension session. And I walk past this trailer and Sir Ian is in there cooking for Sir Patrick. And they're like, James, come in. They were like, you've just come off stage, haven't you? You were just in the West End, literally a week before. Have you just done Macbeth, haven't you? And I was like, yeah. And they went, yeah, we've both done Macbeth as well. And I was like, oh no. And they go like, shall we do a bit? And I was like, oh man, oh no, and they start doing Shakespeare at me, and I've just come off stage a week before, and I can't remember a fucking thing. So I was nervous, but during that time in the trailer, it actually relaxed me a little bit, because he's making salmon, so Ian's like stroking my hair, and like calming me down. It was quite surreal, it was quite weird, but by the end of that, I felt quite relaxed.
Number 2.
Hi, so I'm going to ask the question that we're obviously all here to answer, to hear
Yes,
answered.
I work out.
Yeah, right, okay.
Can you do a Scouse accent?
Close, but Romeo and Juliet. So, if you were in the future to do another Shakespeare story, what fairy tale creatures would you want it to be, and what Shakespeare story would you want to do?
So a fairy tale version of a Shakespeare
Fairy tale
story.
version of a Shakespeare story. So we have the gnome, so what would we have next time? Like I said, everyone wants to know, right?
I've heard everyone talking about this in the queue outside. Like, I really wonder what he thinks about this. It's
I know.
gone viral today.
So you'll enjoy this. Titus Andronicus. How's that?
That is fantastic. I love that. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
You know what I'd like to see? Remember Mr. Ben? That was a live action film, Mr. Ben.
Do you know who's here? John Hannah's here. For a while, I thought John Hannah was going to do a Mr. Ben movie.
All right.
This was years ago. This is like 25 years ago I heard that. It might have just been a rumour. There you go. Ask him when he's up here.
The amount of people in there going, who the fuck is Mr. Ben?
He used to go into a costume shop, get a costume, and then go into that world. But I was like, get the spaceman costume. Oh no, he's becoming a Viking again. Remember, get the spaceman costume. Never saw that episode where he got a spaceman costume, but I saw it in the background. So he was going to choose it one day. Never did. Rubbish.
We've got up at number 4. I don't know why I've not done these in order. I've lost count 8 times. Number 4.
Hi James, I'm Spencer.
Hello.
I've been a fan for a very long time, and I was wondering what it's like working on the X-Men films, and especially portraying like a young Charles Xavier compared to Patrick Stewart.
It was, look, it was a joy for me. I got to do something different. I got to kind of turn it on its head. What was my favourite part of Robbie's story? I mean, it's also the part that hurt me the most, but when I found out that, well, I don't want to spoiler alert, but alright. When I found out that a certain part of his story was invented and that there was a different truth, and that absolutely fucking nailed me.
Thank you.
Thanks, love.
They're doing a UK version of SNL, aren't they?
It's the second time, they've done it once before, didn't they?
Well, it wasn't the Friday Night Live one.
Friday Night Live.
So
Channel 4.
they're casted for it now.
It's going to be on Sky.
Yeah, Sky.
Sky.
Free Sky.
Free Sky.
Free Sky.
Okay, number 1.
How did you get into the character of Kevin that had DID? What was the process of that?
You mean, do you mean all of the characters, or do you mean literally Kevin?
All of them, but most of them.
How did I get into those different characters? Again, it's just like, what purpose does their character serve in the story? What does that character want to do to the audience? What does the writer want that character to do to the audience? And then figure out what you need. You just basically mental. But no, that was quite a buzz. But again, quite intimidating to be on set with a guy that's written and envisaged your character. And when you don't really fit the physical description of the character as well, which happened on Atonement as well, you're a bit like, oh God, I hope he thinks this is alright, but he seemed to like what I was doing.
How does it feel doing an American accent in front of an American actor?
I've done worse things. I mean, I was on stage once doing a play where I had to be naked, and I'm standing on stage like this, and there's a little, like the stage is there, the audience are all around here, but there's these 2 little ramps that go onto the stage called vomitoriums. And me and Nigel Harman have to stand in these vomitoriums. He's in that one over there, and I'm in this one over here, completely naked for about 6 minutes, like that. And I just kind of looked to my side, and my sister is sitting at top level. Once you've sort of done that, you're like, doing American in front of Americans is nothing, you know what
I mean? My sister just there. I'm not looking. No.
Seem to be enjoying the performance.
I got my Willie out on telly once. When you're allowed to, you couldn't do now, you get cancelled. And my mum phoned me up and said, is that really you?
You watched that?
Yeah, it's not when I'm inside it was a prosthetic. And I said, Mum, you gave birth to me, you know how big I am. If I was that big, I'd go to the toilet whilst I'm in the garden, upstairs toilet. It was
With lots of passion, of course. My question to you, even though music isn't like a big thing for you, but if you could choose, what would your go-to karaoke song be?
I mean, I've done it. I've actually done it with the guy who wrote it. Copacabana by Barry Manilow. Yeah. Which I did a talk show once. He was in the talk show. They went, hey, I hear you sing this at karaoke. I was like, yeah. And they got the piano out and I did it with Barry himself. It was an absolute honour. So, Copacabana.
Good choice, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Hi James, I'm Phoebe, and I'm wondering if you have a favourite actor or actress you've acted with, and if so, who is it?
I mean, it's so hard because there are people that you go like, oh, what, you didn't love working with me? Of course, my best friend. I've worked a lot with Jessica Chastain. I think she's an incredible performer and person and colleague. I loved working with Jess, so I'd say maybe her. And as a fella, Fassbender's up there, and he was incredible. And Nick Holt as well. I think Nick didn't have the ammunition with the role in X-Men as much as he's getting to show as what he's made of now. He's just exceptional.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, love.
Yeah, we've got time for a couple more. Up at number 4.
Hi James and Sarah, lovely to ask you a question today. I wanted to ask you, you've spoken about how it's challenging to have a script that isn't good. So for yourself, what do you look for in a script when you pick it up? And what advice would you give to any budding scriptwriters out there?
I'm usually looking for an angle on a story. Every story's already been told, but an angle on that story that feels a bit different. Maybe it's different in how they're telling it, if not in just what they're telling. If it's an opportunity for me to play or tell the story of a character that I've not told before, or in a way that I've never told it before, something new. But generally it's something that's like, that I keep wanting to turn the page. And sometimes you do that for 20 pages, sometimes you do it for 40, but does it keep you turning till the very end? And that's usually something that makes me want to do it. But I mean, I've done things, and I've done a couple of jobs where I'm like, I'm not sure about this, but I've had to do it because you're a working actor and you need to work. And those are the difficult ones. Advice to writers, I don't know because I ain't a writer. And any kind of time I've tried to write and not just like write an extra line here or there, it's been fairly, well, it's failed. Yep. Couple of scripts out there that nobody wanted to make. So yeah, I ain't a writer. I wouldn't presume to give a writer advice.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thanks, love.
Over at number 3.
Hi James, I've been a fan of yours since Shameless.
Thanks, love.
A long time. I was at the Barrowland Ballroom for the Sybil and Brains. I just wanted to ask you, how did it feel to be there and to get the response that you got from the Glasgow, from your hometown?
So, for anybody that doesn't know, what's your name?
Jane.
Jane was just talking about, I just directed a film in which there's a big, huge musical performance. We filmed it at the Glasgow Barrowlands, and 2,000 people came. We didn't pay them like extras because we couldn't afford it, but they came and filled the room, and so we basically put on a gig. And the 2 guys in the movie performed as if they were just putting on a gig. It was amazing. And so Glasgow showed up and filled that room and gave us some real big movie ending, you know? It's amazing. How did it feel for me? So proud. And that connection with the audience, that 2,000 extras in that room gave us
Yeah, so yeah, my question is, one of my favourite films that you've ever done is Wanted. I actually love that movie.
Yes. Thank you.
Very cool film.
My question is, what's one of your favourite scenes?
In Wanted? I mean, it's got to be Professor X kicking the shit out of Star-Lord, isn't it? There's a scene where, where the guy who's playing my mate, who is Chris Pratt, who went on to play Star-Lord, is like, yeah, dude, Dad, you're the man. And he's having sex with my girlfriend. And I take a keyboard and I smack him over the face, and then the keys of the keyboard fly towards camera and spell the word "fuck you." And, little did we know that that would be the future Professor X and the future Star-Lord having a go at each other. But that's probably my favourite bit in the film.
Oh, do you know what? That bit in the film, because I think anyone that's worked in an office saw that and thought, I'd fucking love to do that. There's so many people in that office. Oh, how great would it be? I love that scene.
Thank you.